Pathmark is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Katherine qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, into videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Katherine to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on Katherine.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Katherine from Shape, CMO with them. How are you doing today, Katherine?
Very well. Thank you. Nice to be here, Inessa. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on, Katherine. And I'm sure our listeners are tuning in, wondering what Shape is all about. So let's kick it off with that, Katherine. In your own words, can you tell us a little bit more?
Sure. I recently joined Shape. It's very exciting to be on the technology side. I've been on the financial services client side for several years now, but back in my earlier years in San Francisco, I did quite a bit of technology work. So it's exciting to see the gigantic leap that's been made, and certainly Shape has taken advantage of all the modern capabilities. It's a feature-rich, all-in-one sales and marketing solution. And I really stress the feature-rich because it is as sophisticated as some, very large competitors in the CRM space. That's client relationship management, right? Space. However, the complexity to actually accessing some of these tools is much more simple. So we'll go into some of the capabilities more as we discuss it, but that's the core of what Shape is.
All right, awesome. And so that way our listeners can get a good understanding of Shape. What would you say some key problems that she's solving?
So, today there is so much noise in the world, right? Particularly if you're a mid-sized business, or certainly a small business, you don't have enough, marketing budget, and you certainly don't have enough time yourself to get in front of all the people that you need to get in front of. And so what you need is technology that does have the capability to get in front of all of your database and all the people that you're just meeting. So it's very important that you quickly be able to add contacts that you come across. Certainly you largely, you have a database of people you either know or have already worked with, but you should be meeting people all the time, no matter what your industry or what your business is, particularly if you're in a sales position, right? So you should be able to easily, constantly have access to upload new contacts to that database and then market to them, a specific message that makes sense based on the conversation or the context that you have with that person. And so in addition to that, and then also having automated, everything from emails to text to, sending out your point of sale system link to actually apply with you for certain types of products, that should all be done without having to figure out how many times have you gotten in front of that person yet today. And so that's the main thing we solve, is getting you very prominent without all the work.
Pretty awesome to hear that from Shape there. And so then what would you say is is there a vertical segment? Is there an ideal ICP for Shape?
We are expanding. When you get to looking at the competitors out there, it's really either very laggard competitors who, have robust platforms but never really kept up with the modern UI and UX that we would expect from today's technologies, or they're very new and they don't have the complexity that Shape does to make sure that we're constantly optimizing the spin that you would be making. So I would say there's really no competitor out there that's doing anything close to what the capabilities of for the price point, especially that Shape offers. Because of that we started in the mortgage industry and we are heavy in mortgage. We have branched off into other financial services. We're getting to be pretty heavy here in insurance. And then oddly enough, when you have sort of really critical sort of large projects or, the sales cycle might be longer, let's say, you definitely need a strong CRM because you can't miss that one opportunity. So as it happens, solar has become quite a great industry for us because that is such a critical, if you miss that one, complete setup, it's very difficult to ever sort of, expand that capability with the client. So solar, we are into education, debt consolidation companies. So, we've run the gamut, and there's nothing we could not customize because of the flexibility of the platform, but that's our core product offering right now.
Okay, all right, awesome to hear that. And so then, for example, you mentioned, right, that these solar companies, how would somebody usually find out about Shape? Is there a top line acquisition channel for you guys?
It's amazing. I mean, most people are aware that they need some sort of contact management, right? They don't maybe understand the exact words or even acronym CRM, but they definitely start to look for that. And, this is a marketing platform. So you have professional marketers like me, and certainly that's the background of the people that we work with. And so nobody should be doing it better than us, right? To drive leads and interested people into learning about Shape. So we're pretty good at that. We have a great search engine optimization team, and we have, a good share of voice just because of that. Really, this particular team has been doing this for 15 years. So we have well over 100,000 customers at this point. So, we understand sort of what the core success of our buyers look like. And so we can sort of capitalize on those lookalike audiences.
That's really awesome to hear that. And so that way our listeners could check you guys out. They could check you out at setshape.com. What role does a website play for your client acquisition?
It is the core place where we convert. I mean, really, while we have automated developed landing pages that make it really simple for our clients to use, and we use those at times too, sort of a lot of the core pages of our website are built as landing pages. So it is, if it's insurance or if it's mortgage or whatever we might be driving traffic into, ultimately the acquisition tends to happen on those pages. These are not just sort of, simple, yes, I'm interested in looking at a house, I landed here and call me right away. These are business owners who are very invested and want to really understand. So they do tend to go through the site no matter where we land them. And so that site has to be a very simple funnel to drive that acquisition. So these pages were tested immensely, from where the form lived to how many fields were in the form to what image, if it was left or right, up or down. And we really sort of mastered quite a high acquisition rate.
Hear that. So then on that, is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some website generation?
Tools like Hotjar, for instance, is, definitely great to go in and really be able to see, where is, the client hanging out longer? Where are they abandoning? Where are they clicking? What sort of content seems to be more interested that's driving to them? What calls to action? What CTA buttons are they using? But definitely, just good old analytics, Google Analytics or whatever analytics platform you're using. You just, have to constantly be aware of the path that you're trying to accomplish, right? Sometimes the path really is when someone's in early stage search, let's say that there's what is a CRM, right? Or how would I contact my customers? When someone's in that very early stage buying process, it's not necessarily likely that they're going to convert that day. They might get a demo, and so that demo should be the goal. Signing up today may not be the goal, so it depends on what that keyword is, where we start to sort of assign value to these segments that we're driving traffic in from. So those sort of basic tools are what give you all that data.
Yeah, I believe so. Very great tip there. Then definitely from you, Katherine. And well, then let's switch gears a little bit and talk about you as a leader. You being the CMO there for Shape, what are some key tasks you focus on your day-to-day work?
My key task at a C-level is absolutely company valuation. I mean, every single thing that a marketer should be doing today, because, we used to just be a brand voice. It used to be that, where we wanted to send something out to customers, we asked marketing to put it together, or we wanted to, see ourselves on, professional baseball, we wanted to have a commercial put together, let's ask marketing. But today, sort of the anchor of companies comes from the metrics, and the metrics come from marketing data. We understand sentiment. We understand conversion. We understand, the initial attraction, where social media is playing a role generally against our competitors, let's say, and then certainly with ourselves. And no one else in the company has that sort of market data. And so it really has changed marketing being sort of this art of the brand, which is still very critical, because, most people are very brand sensitive and loyal, and switching that to marketing being quite a science. And so, the future CEOs of tomorrow tend to be the CMOs of today, where that didn't really used to be the case. It was usually sales and operations that moved into those CEO roles. But typically today, few people understand the core business success metrics better than the marketer does. So that's my focus, all of that. Oh, you're muted now if you're...
It sounds like you have a full plate on your hands, but you're going in the right way. So great to hear that from you, Catherine. Well, let's just jump into our next section here, Catherine, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Awesome. First off, what is the last book that you read?
I've actually got it right here. See, Master Mortgage Marketing. I'm never above just picking up an actual book and still learning about marketing. That's one by Kelly Gill. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, great read there. Next up is, what is one single thing that your company is focused on at the moment the most?
Going after enterprise, kind of growing up the brand a little bit now that we've got quite an established user base, and so going after enterprise clients.
Okay. Next is, if there would be no barriers in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to add fix for your role as a marketer today?
I would say if we could just completely automate social media. So, there's times that you are, getting into a very particular type of promotion, or you're looking to expand awareness of a capability that the technology might have. But the day-to-day, top of mind, constantly reminding, our audience that we're still here. I'd love to just have that automated and remove that off my plate.
That will be all right. Next is, what is one, if there's one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
It would be that repetitive task. I mean, if you think about the capability that you could upload, some brand samples of creative, obviously your color palette, put the contents of your entire website into a tool, and it just create, look at what ChatGPT can do today, right? If it could just create that for you and create a content calendar, including the creative for you, and then you sort of maybe drag and drop maybe where you'd like to place them, that would just be a phenomenal experience. And I'm sure we're not very far away from that in some of these tools.
Definitely would agree with that. And well, lastly, Catherine, I mean, you're a CMO, you have a lot of experience already, but what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
Restarting my journey, I would say, I took some years to get to a place where I really trusted that blocking time in my calendar just to learn was acceptable, and it didn't feel like I'm getting away with something, So, I would have definitely blocked at least 2 hours, two separate 1 hour segments to just in the middle of the day learn. At night, it ends up that we're just too busy, or our mind is sort of tired at that point. And in the morning, we often are rushing around, particularly if there's family initiatives and those sorts of things. So during the week, when it's easy to reach out to somebody and maybe question a white paper that you just read, or, just to catch up, because marketing is changing, particularly with AI, every single day. So we should make it part of our time to not only learn, but see as many demos as we can. I book on Thursday afternoons an open time slot so that when all of these vendors call and want to be part of, part of Shape, I say, I've got this on Thursday afternoon. I don't have to go and find and back and forth. And if my Thursday afternoons are already filled with demos for the next month, then guess what? It's going to be another month. But I know that I'm going to spend that time to learn about either what competitive capabilities are out there, or, we can't assume because we're good at our job today that makes us good even a year from now. So that constant booking time to learn and setting as many demos as reasonable is what I would have started earlier in my career.
Definitely some great advice there from you. Thank you so much for that, for sharing that. And well, Catherine, we're coming to the end of the show here, but before we end, I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about your company?
That technology does not need to be so hard anymore. And gone are the days where it needs to be difficult to log in, accomplish some, significant progress and speaking with your audience and getting out to move on with your day. And that is what Shape does.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that. And likewise, right, so our listeners, you can always check them out at shape.com. Thank you so much, Katherine, for being on today's episode. To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to our next episode at Pat Monk Presents. Thanks a lot, Katherine.
Thanks, Ernesto.